YouTubers, Mike Martins here on Mike Martins channel. Thank you for joining me for another beautiful segment of housing crisis. And you know what? I want to bring up the story. It's coming from down under in Australia. I really want to. The headline itself just blows, just punches you right in the head. And I want your comments below on this one because this one touches on racism. And I want you guys to weigh in from Australia and New Zealand down under and let me know what you guys feel about this. Articles from February 23rd, 2017. It has 184 comments on it, so it's getting a little bit of buzz. I don't know why it is only 184 comments. There should be thousands of comments on this thing. Only in Australia could fighting a housing bubble make you a racist. Nowadays, you're a racist if you go against if you win an argument with a liberal, you're considered a racist. That's plain and simple. Anyways, let's get to it. Doomsayer, Gloomster, Racinista, Mischievous Grumpy Bum. These are all the names used against housing bears in Australia. But now, we're all racist as well. RBA Governor Phil Lowe yesterday lamented the insidious, in quotations, resentment of immigrants caused by the overcrowding of Australia's major cities and called the governments to dramatically lift infrastructure investment from the AFR. Our population has been growing quickly, but we have not built enough transportation infrastructure, he told an Australian-Canadian Economic Leadership Forum in Sydney. Canada's struggling with the same housing crisis. Population in our cities is becoming more and more crowded. People are getting frustrated, they partly blame immigrants, and so it really is insidious. Comment below, let me know. He said infrastructure spending would help the economy by boosting demand at a time of weak business investment, improve the supply side of the economy, and also improve the housing affordability by linking new residential areas to jobs. There are ticks all the way down. Mr. Lowe said, while it is fair enough that Dr. Lowe weigh in against the rise of one nation, this is a formulation of the issues is only going to make matters worse. Australians don't resent immigrants. We are a mature, multicultural immigrant nation. What people resent is the excessive levels of immigration that push housing prices and congestion up and living standards down. Lowe is posting to a false binary that will only feed the rise of fringe parties. So, that's why I left the city of Vancouver, and I love the city, the big city, and I'm 2 hours away from the city, and it's the best thing I ever did. The congestion, there's no traffic. I'm loving it. Let's continue here. Since Howard initially opened the immigration floodgates in 2003, Australia's population has grown nearly 2.5 times in the OECD average. Next, see chart. So I'm going to leave a link below to this article. It's very important because there's a chart to population change. So it shows the United States, United Kingdom, New Zealand, Ireland, Canada. In Australia is the highest at 22% change in the country. And under the government's own projections, Australia will grow by nearly 400,000 each year, with Sydney and Melbourne accounting for roughly half of its growth. Holy smokes. So you're seeing a graph here from 1900 to 1920, 1930, up to 1970. There was a huge spike. In the 1980s, it dipped. 1990s, it went back slightly up. 2000s, it's 2010 where the poop hits the fan and things get out of control. Wow. The fact of the matter is that immigration, that is the fundamental determinant of Australia's overall population size, according to the Productivity Commissioner. PC, Australia's population would peak at just 27 million under zero net overseas migration, NOM, but would grow over 40 million mid-century under current migrant settings. So of Australia's future projection population, assuming fixed level income, so it's showing here by 2060 where Australia is going to be sitting. And it's pretty, 44 mil, wow, if it continues. Therefore, the immigration intake will have major implication for living standards, including whether you can afford a decent-sized home. I think that's happening right now. How long you spend stuck in traffic. I think Melbourne and Sydney were only designed for about 800,000 people. I don't know, but I'm guessing. Environmental sustainability and productivity. Rather than viewing mass immigration as a fait accompli and a lamenting inadequate infrastructure provision, wow, those are big words. I'm surprised I read that. Phil Lowe should instead question whether growing by more than 1 million people every 3 years or Melbourne every decade is sensible and sustainable, and whether such mass immigration is likely to rise incumbent residents' living standards by more than under a moderate immigration intake. The PC's recent Migrate Intake Australia report called for a national population strategy that maximizes the benefits for the incumbent population rather than flying blindly with the RBA bubble managers. Crikey might take a note as well, as it attacks Dick Smith with more fake news. So there's a section here of the this is a really long article, people. Dick Smith versus the migrants. Businessman Dick Smith attacking immigration as a threat to our economy is both wrong-headed and encouraging anti-immigration sentiment in the community. So, Dick Smith has long been a little Australia man, steady in his opposition to immigration. If anything, he's become more so in recent years, making videos, running a website, announcing a political party that had as its central tenet that immigration was a giant Ponzi scheme based on perpetual growth. There's never been, So I'm going to leave a link below for this. You can read about what's going on with Dick Smith. But this is like what I was saying before. There's a couple of things, like, in all fairness, that could be done with this problem. This is a massive problem, and this is something that needs to be taken. The thing is, also, Vancouver isn't, the city I lived in, doesn't feel like you're in Canada anymore. It feels like you're somewhere else. Which is nice now because I don't live there, and then when I visit there, it feels like I'm going to a different country. Which is nice, because then now I feel like I'm like crossing a border into another country, and the signs are all different, and that's, for me, it's okay, right? But I don't know in the long run what's going to happen, right? And then now, I don't know, like, people are always picking on people that are anti-immigration. Remember, Donald Trump's platform was immigration. You guys remember that Donald Trump's political platform was immigration, and he won. Okay, now the thing is not being anti-immigration. Like, I mean, I'm an immigrant. My parents are immigrants. My wife's an immigrant. My wife's only been here 5 years. She's an immigrant. You know, we're all immigrants. We build up. The country is built off of immigration, but they're getting scared of infrastructure, and that's one thing I was talking on for a long time. Immigrants from anywhere. I mean, it's nice. Different cultures, different languages, different people. It's fantastic. I love it. But it's hard when the housing prices get out of control and you're bought out. It's hard, you know what I'm saying? When you go to I went to my stepson's high school for parent-teacher interview, and his English teacher barely spoke English. How is this lady teaching English when she can't speak it herself? Things like that. And it's just, I don't know, is this the norm that we have to accept and then we have to live by it? You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing is, no one's looking at other countries' immigration stances. Like, I know in Dubai, you cannot live there. You can't become an immigrant of Dubai. Mexico, you cannot go to Mexico and buy a house there. They will never sell you a house, because I tried buying there twice in 2 different 10 years apart. And I was told that they cannot sell to me because I am a foreigner and they can't touch me. Thailand, when I went to Thailand, I wanted to open a bar. Nope. Open it under someone else's name, so then basically they could take over the business and I have no say. Things like that. Same thing with China. China's like that too. I think Japan isn't like that too much. I don't think Korea's like that too much either. But if you try going to China or Mexico, those countries, they have really strict, really strict, tight immigration laws. They don't want to lose their sovereignty. They don't want to lose their way of life. So if a country like Australia, Canada, the United States wants to put more restraints in to protect their sovereignty or their people, which they haven't done, by the way, so then it would actually be the same. It would mirror existing countries and mirror immigration laws. And I'm not saying I'm an immigrant. I am an immigrant. My first language is Portuguese. Eu falo português. My second language, yo hablo español. Yo hablo perfectísimo español. I speak all the American languages. English in North America, Spanish in Central America, and Portuguese in South America. A lot of people don't know. The official language of South America is Portuguese. 208 million people speak Portuguese in Brazil. South America's population is 308, and 208 million speak Portuguese. I just wanted to put that out there. So I speak all the American languages perfectly. Read, write, text. I'm into culture, spicy food, Latin women. I love it. Okay? But it's just, it has to get to a point where it's actually beneficial for everybody, so one side isn't losing. Because let's say Mexico loses all their really good carpenters to come to Canada or to America to build and make custom furniture. Then there's going to be no one left in Mexico to build custom furniture for the people that live there. You know what I'm saying? So there needs to be some sort of a balance, or there has to be a balance where if I want to go to Mexico and buy a house, they should allow me to. They should allow me to go buy a house there if I want to buy a home. Not tell me to my face I'm a foreigner and I'm not welcome to buy any property. They told me that to my face, that I'm not welcome to buy property in Mexico. So I'm not against Mexicans. Yo amo lo mexicano, me encanta la idioma y todo, la gente, el fútbol y todo. But what I'm trying to say is that it should maybe be more fair on both sides. So then this way there's more of it's more parallel, right? So people going to another country and wanting their country should be offering that to other people too, right? From other countries. You know what I'm saying? Like when I try to rent a place in Thailand, and it was really hard because I was a foreigner, and they don't like to rent to foreigners. So I couldn't get a place there, so I had to spend a lot of money in a hotel when I could have just rented a place for $3,000 for 3 months, instead of paying a hotel lots of money. But that's how it is. So I'm going to leave a link below this for the Australians here to read this. I like this article. It's really good. It's really well positioned. It's got a very good angle. It's not picking on one specific culture, but people need to understand that there needs to be some sort of a balance, or because the country changes so much, then people want to leave, right? Like I had to leave my city. Vancouver was just out of control. Just out of control, like they said in this article, the busyness, the traffic, everybody hates each other. This disrespect for each other people have, you could see it, it's blatant. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below and weigh in on this one. I want to know. This is a really touchy subject and I want to know. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's really nice. It's a thing where you put up photos and it shows instantly. I think that's such a really cool idea. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.